Privacy, KRS 156.5774D. Any preliminary discussions relating to the evaluation of the superintendent by the board or between the board and the superintendent prior to the summary evaluation shall be conducted in closed session. And KRS 61.810B allows closed session for deliberations on the future acquisition of or sale of real property by a public agency. For those two reasons, we are asking the recommended motions that the board enter into closed session as stated.
All right, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to enter into closed session for those reasons stated?
You get it.
So,
Is there a second?
second.
All right. All in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. All right, we're in closed session.
Okay, we can go back in this little room back here.
Now, you said 5 o'clock, right?
second exiting closed session? Okay. All in favor of exiting closed session? Larry? Larry,
Yes, ma'am.
are you in favor of exiting the closed session?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all in favor and, yeah, so we are now out of closed session. And is there a motion to adjourn our special call? Oh, we do it as part of that meeting? Okay. All right, let's, go.
Yeah, so really quickly, the superintendent shall be evaluated annually in writing by the board members will score each superintendent standard and share their agreed upon ratings with the superintendent. The recommended motion is to approve the superintendent evaluation as presented.
All right, that's what we did at 5 o'clock. We, met and we went into closed session because that's how we do the evaluations.
And you need a motion and a second.
Do I? Okay, approve it first and then talk about it. Okay, so is there a motion to approve our evaluation?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Yes.
All right, all in favor of approving our evaluation indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Now we talk. Okay, so, there are 7 standards that superintendents are evaluated on, and the evaluations are 1 to 4. And for standard 1, which is strategic leadership, now these words that describe the leadership, they drive me crazy because I don't think they really describe very well. But so if anybody has any questions about what these words mean, we can answer those after the meeting. So strategic leadership, we have given Mr. Coppa 4. Instructional leadership, we have given Mr. Coppa 4. Cultural leadership, we have given Mr. Coppa 4. Human resource leadership, we have given Mr. Coppa 4. Managerial leadership, we have given Mr. Coppa 4. Collaborative leadership, we have given Mr. Coppa 4. And influential leadership, we have given Mr. Coppa 4.
Detention Center principal is requesting to name the school program, not the detention center itself, at the detention center, the Future Forward Education and Career Center, and that is FFECC, to focus on a more positive implication for each student's future. Below are some examples of successes during the 2020-2021 school year and what it will mean to be future forward. During the 2021 school year, our staff serviced over 260 students, earned over 120 credits, graduated 5 students with a high school diploma, enrolled 9 students working towards a GED, 1 student obtained their GED, and the staff helped recover 30 credits, followed by many other successes. Future Forward provides a unique educational experience for middle and high school students by creating an individual path towards graduation and providing exposure to career pathways for all students. The facility itself resides in the middle of horse country. Therefore, our school mascot will be that of a thoroughbred horse called the Champions. Thoroughbred horses are known for their speed and agility, but more specifically, use blinders to focus on the finish line. In our case, the finish line is a high school diploma or GED. #GoForward. The recommended motion, and by the way, Adam Nance is doing a wonderful job, and so is all of his staff. The recommended motion is to approve naming the school program at FRJDC, the Future Forward Education and Career Center.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion or questions?
I just like how, now,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Appreciate it. I just like how our staff is looking outside the box and creating pathways for education of our kids. And I just want to say kudos for that. I appreciate that very much.
And I think it's a good opportunity for these children to give them a different pathway. They, got into some trouble or whatever, to be able to focus on something different than to bring them out of their lifestyle.
All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, Western Hills High School Deloitte donation.
Donations valued at $1,000 or more must be approved by the board. The Deloitte Company has offered to provide supplies for teachers in a campaign called Teacher Drive. The supplies are estimated to be valued over $1,000. The recommended motion is to approve the Deloitte Company donation to Western Hills High School.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any questions? All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Frankfurt Plant Board donation for water station.
As you all know, we've been working on this for a few years with the Frankfurt Plant Board. We had a group of students that went and addressed them a few years ago, asking for this. And now the Frankfurt Plant Board would like to donate $12,000 for 12 water stations. Those are the water bottle filling stations. They would also like to include signage around the water fountains to communicate how drinking tap water saves money, reduces waste, and encourages health. And we're very appreciative of that. The recommended motion is to approve the $12,000 donation from the Frankfurt Plant Board for water stations.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I was gonna say one thing, that's one of the things that we've done throughout, where I do the safety for labor. Well, throughout the state, I go in and all of our water fountains have been shut down, because that's one of the biggest contagious places. And I've said that from day one for many years. I mean, colds, flus, and everything is picked up at these water fountains. And I think this is a great way to nullify that and be able to get something in that will give the kids the water that they need and be more healthy.
And to that point, we do have several of these now in the district. Every time we have a water fountain that fails now, we are replacing it with one of these touchless water bottle filling stations. And this will definitely help us get it in every single facility.
All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Next item, annual data and security review.
702 KAR 1:170 requires that districts must annually acknowledge to their board that they have reviewed the latest best practice guide for data security. This is a summary of some of the practices that we employ to ensure data security. We do not have a motion here. This is just a review item.
All right, first reading of updated policy 09.124.
The update to policy 09.124 is to remove the mandate of charging tuition for out-of-district students, and that is attached to the first reading tonight.
All right, the next item is second reading and approval of updated policy 05.48.
Policy 05.48 has been recommended to include the title of school safety coordinator in the language. The policy is attached for approval. The first reading was on July 6, 2021. The recommended motion is to approve the updated policy 05.48 as presented.
And could you explain that?
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Questions?
Could you explain what that is, so the essence here?
Sure. So that policy talks about weapons being prohibited in school districts, and there are a list of exceptions in that. The first exception is each school resource officer shall be armed with firearm, and the second one is an exception may be made for students participating in an authorized curricular or extracurricular activity or team involving the use of firearms, as in KRS 527.070. Third one is local law enforcement officials, including peace officers and police. And then the fourth one, we're asking for the school safety coordinator. In this instance, Jeff Abrams, who's in the back of the room back there, is not just a school safety coordinator, he is also a sheriff deputy. And by putting this language in, it will remove any gray area. It will be very black and white in terms of.
One of the things that I know with Jeff, he's, highly trained in that area, but I mean, if we down the road, if we got a safety officer or something that wasn't trained, I'd be a little bit more, a little hesitant.
I would agree with you.
I don't know if there's any language that can be put in there to make sure, that they have to be, some.
Yeah, we had actually talked about that very issue. And first thing is Jeff's not allowed to leave or quit. He's with us for the long haul. But if we did do that, what we would do is if we hired someone who was not trained, the first thing we would do is just do an immediate waiver of that particular part. part of the policy. We take that to the board, and prior to hiring, that's how we would address that.
So it allows it, but it doesn't require it.
Exactly, it
Okay.
allows, but it's not required.
All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Next item is Train Energy Project BG4.
Go back to that screen. Attached for review and approval is the Train Energy Project BG4. This is the contract closeout document. The recommended motion is to approve the Train Energy Project BG4.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? So we're done?
We're done.
All right.
We're done.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All right. Next item, American Tower Corporation contract proposal.
The attached is the American Tower Corporation proposal. American Tower Corporation is an independent contractor of wireless and broadband communications sites, and we currently lease our property to them. The American Tower Corporation is giving us the option to buy out the lease with a one-time purchase or to sign a 40-year lease extension. The recommendation at this point and the recommended motion is to continue with the lease extension in its current state. So yeah, that's the motion.
So do I have to do your motion before I make a motion to table it?
You have to, vote on that. No, actually, I think you can actually just table it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion that we table this. Is there a second to my motion?
Second.
Second.
Is anybody here, all in favor of tabling this motion and bringing it up again next month?
Can we discuss anything? I think that's why we're tabling it is, so that we can look at other options. So,
That's why I would like to table it too.
and I want the public to be aware, it's up behind Little Elkhorn School over, is where that's located.
Yeah, just personally, I'm not ready to either say no to both of the options that they've requested or to say yes to either of the options. I'd like to look at them more, and that's why I'm asking.
Yes, I completely understand, and I would agree with that. I think, again, the way the lease is currently structured, just so everyone understands, is we are in the middle of a 40-year lease that started in 2004 and will last until 2044. So to take no action at all, we would still be in the lease agreement in its current state.
All right, so all in favor of tabling this until next month indicate by saying aye. Aye. Okay, my motion to table is carried.
Maybe not even next month, just whenever they get all the stuff together, whenever we got the information.
All right, next item, approve council for better education resolution.
The resolution to support the Council for Better Education is attached for approval. Also attached is a brief history on the Council for Better Education, as well as information on House Bill 563. The recommended motion is to approve the resolution to support the Council for Better Education.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All right. So we've added L, which is going to be my motion, which, I'd like to make a motion that the board approve, the allocation of $500,000 in Section 7 funds to allocate to the schools
For any needs.
for any needs. I mean, we can't tell the schools what to spend it on, but, kind of to take, a step further, our approval of, not asking any parents to buy school supplies. The idea is that there are upfront costs to teachers and administrators and things like that. And so, since we have, a pretty big contingency, which is leftover money this year, my motion is to take $500,000 of that. $400,000 is how much we spent on the, excuse me, the school supplies. So this is a little bit more than that, but kind of in the same line, divide that amongst the schools. And, yeah, and then, they can use it for whatever they decide with the SDBM and the SBDM and the principals, they would decide it, but hopefully they can use that to make the financial burdens a little bit less this year, because we do have a little bit of extra money this year.
So the motion,
So my motion is to, allocate $500,000 of section 7 money to the schools. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
I'll speak.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say again, over and over and over, I had the privilege and opportunity to be in y'all's shoes, teachers especially. And I know what it means when you need supplies. I know what it means when you need extra stuff in your classroom. I appreciate our chair bringing it to the board of some ideas of giving money back to you all to help you. We appreciate all the work. This board really appreciate our faculty, our teachers, our administrators, and I appreciate them taking a stand to give more money back. So I just want to say thank you so much for what you all do, and just love those kids when they come to school this year, okay? Thanks.
Any other comments?
Well, one of the things I know, being out in the schools and talking to teachers and stuff, every year it seems like every time I talk to a teacher, you know, they go out and spend X number of dollars, on stuff for their classroom, to enhance it. And, so that's one of the things that this, money can be used for, so that they don't have to spend that out of pocket.
and, we do have a process that we can use for this. It involves a Google form that Ms. Six has already created for the school supplies, so we can do a similar piece with with our staff. And if, again, we focus on the instructional aspect of things, that's right around $1,000 per teacher in our district potentially. When you think about it from that perspective, we have about 450 teachers, is that right, Ms. Perkins? I think that's pretty close to being accurate. And that still would leave an additional 50,000 for others. So we have a process that we can use to help out, allocate those dollars in an equitable way.
All right. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All right. Motion carries. Next section is reports to the board. First, monthly financial.
Yeah, the June 2021 monthly financial report is attached for your review and approval. The recommended motion is to approve the June 2021 financial report.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The next item is superintendent's personnel actions.
Personnel actions taken since the last meeting of the board are presented for your information.
Reports from school councils.
Draft minutes from school site-based decision-making councils are presented for your review.
District facility services update.
Our assistant superintendent, John Fields, who is doing an amazing job, the work of many people this summer. He's just knocking it out of the park, and his team, the director of maintenance, who's the director, should be the director of maintenance of the year of the state every single year, Trampus Penn. You're a rock star, Trampus, and welcome back. It's great to see you.
Thank you, sir.
John is going to update the board on our district facility services and all the great work that they've been doing.
Well, thank you for taking a moment to listen, and all the good things you said about Trampus Penn are true. The amazing work that team does over there is, I'd imagine, against anybody in the state. There's no way we could stand here and go through everything that's been done this summer. It would take 3 or 4 hours, literally. So we tried to put together a little presentation to show you some of the stuff, the highlights, so to speak, that was done. Just so you get a kind of perspective of how much work goes on at the maintenance department when it comes back up here. From May 24th of this year until July 28th of this year, there were 420 open tickets. That means work, things that need to get done. Out of that 429, 448 were closed. And you say, well, how is that possible? Well, it's possible that there was some holdover before that time period, before May 24th. And just to show you how much we worked hard on cleaning up the district this year, this summer alone, we disposed of over 440 cubic yards of trash and debris throughout the district. So if you drive around the district this year, as school is getting ready to open up, you will see a much brighter, sparkling, clean district. There are a few areas that we still need to have some laser-like focus on, and I believe we're going to get that coming up this year. Just some areas. This was Bondard Middle School. That area had been used for storage for a number of years, and we have absolutely cleaned that up. I'm not going to show before pictures with any of this, but if you want to see those, I'll be glad to share them with any picture. Rankin County High School, this is something that was approved that is a pride and joy right now of our band director over there, and I'm sure of the principal and everyone there. The carpet that was put in that band room has been there since the beginning of the renovation, which I don't know how many years that was. Mr. Lewis, I'm sure, probably knows that.
It was on, I heard it.
It doesn't like me. The funny thing is, I stand in front of microphones all the time playing music. So. But this is absolutely a beautiful room now. You can walk in and just smell the difference of the carpet. It's going to be easier for the custodians to clean and take more time.
And I know that was one of the things when I was out in the schools that the complaint was that room had some mold, mildew smell and stuff, so.
Well, if you can imagine the carpet had been there for that many years and the band going in and out, and we had grass at that time until the new turf. Here you have just an example of floors that have been redone. There was a bank there in Franklin County that had carpet in it that was not in very good shape, and a store as well, and all that's been replaced with tile. You can see the fantastic shine the custodians has put on that floor. We also replaced the upstairs foyer. The tile there was cracked. Actually, some of it was filling up, so that whole foyer upstairs has been replaced at Franklin County High School. We did a lot of cleaning of debris around the field houses this year. Once again, when people come to our sports facilities, I think they're going to sit up and pay attention now to how clean and neat everything looks. Just another example, this is the football field house, wrestling field house. I know some of you have driven by the old central office building. We had a lot of things stored over there at the food service warehouse. You pull by there now, you see a nice gravel lot free of all the debris. Food service warehouse, we worked to remove a cooler that had been in that building for not even Wendy Greenwell knows how long that hadn't been used. But we were able to move that cooler out this summer, and we have lots of more room for storage. The plan is to also designate space there for technology, Jimmy Pack's group, where they're bringing clever truckies or things throughout the summer or school year, and have to wait till we get in the classrooms to put them, so they'll have a designated space over there.
Now, is that a controlled environment in there?
We don't have air conditioning in that room. We have heat in there. We leveled out, if you go around the school playgrounds, we have a couple others on our list that we're hoping to finish up. Some of them we may not get to until fall break, but we installed new mats around much of the equipment, added new mulch. This particular one was at Peaks Mill, and another project that just got completed at Peaks Mill today was we had a little safety issue out there in the parking lot, and we needed to add concrete, so they finished that project up today, and you will see a picture of that. West Ridge, another example of mulch that's been added, and we've got another modification to the intermediate playground over there that we're currently working on, and hope to get that done before school starts. And if we do, we're going to be right at the deadline. Western Hills, this is one of the most amazing projects that we've done this summer, was taking the old football field house and changing it into a absolute amazing space. The floor there is one of a kind. I don't know of another one in the entire state or country that looks like that. It's a special floor for Western Hills, and it just looks absolutely amazing. We've upgraded the HVAC systems in there, all the vents, get the next one there, Rebecca. New painting, new paint scheme, new ceiling, new lights. There'll be new fixtures installed, water fountains, toilets, so on and so forth. And that's just another picture of how shiny and beautiful that floor was. We painted the doors, as you can see. I think that's it, but once again, couldn't done any of that, been impossible without Trampus and his team. Just a truly amazing group of folks over there. Does anyone have any questions on anything?
No, I want to commend Trampus. Glad to see you back. I know you was greatly missed. I mean, they was wandering around aimlessly. I mean,
Well, I just appreciate that you've taken the time, when you had the time, to do all this work. I think it really says a lot that, seems like the whole team is trying to figure out what to do to make everything better, and, thank you.
Great time.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, instructional services update.
You have to get your microphone back here.
I'll get that back, but, since June, we've been talking a lot about our district promise, every student succeeds. And excitement is building across the district as we begin this new school year. August is here, so we're ready to go. But and Mr. Cobb is gonna talk about our retreat. I asked Kristen to capture what a promise is. She talked to students across the district, staff members across the district, and she got some video clips. And so we did a video for retreat, and we want our folks to know that we take this promise seriously. Every student succeeds, and even after retreat, I added, and we're not giving up. So when I'm met with excuses or reasons why a student can't succeed, my response is going to be, and we're not giving up, so what next? So I'm just putting that out there, that will be my response. But this video, Beth Lognell requested that Kristen do an all-kid video for her staff. And so these are clips of our kids telling you what a promise means to them. So we wanted to share this with you first tonight.
A promise is when you say, I will never break this to you. I will never give up on this for you.
A promise is the same thing. If somebody promises you, they promise them to do it. You got to do it no matter what. It goes first and really to expect.
I think a promise would be like something that you say to someone that you actually mean you're going to do it. A promise is something that you tell somebody and now you're going to have to do it. Keeping a promise means when you don't lie that when you say you're going to keep a promise. You do that promise and you kept that promise. And it's kind of shows that you're loyal and you're a loyal friend. And you can't just doing it no matter what. But if you can't keep that promise, then you shouldn't have made that promise.
To show that you're a trustworthy and a loyal person.
It's important to keep promises because
you don't wanna lose the trust after you promise them something, and it just makes you seem like a good person. It's important to keep promises because people will trust you more often.
To me, to keep a promise is to either there are two ways. I definitely promise you I will do this, and the other one that I'm usually doing is a pinky promise. You light a cookie, and then you would cook it to the other one, and you would say, I pinky promise you that I will never break this. Shocked, sad, and mad.
Sometimes I feel sad and bold.
It kind of felt me like upset and all that.
It means that you care a lot for the kids and Elkhorn because if you're promising something that big, and if you don't keep it, everyone's going to be mad at you. So if you promise something that big, you have to make sure you keep it. Because if every kid in this school succeeds, it's going to be the best school in the whole entire world. And I'll just fall in love with the school.
That every student is gonna win.
The teacher believe in us. And I mean, it's basically both hands to the thing, because you gotta live up to the promise. So it's kind of a covenant.
Well, I'll take that with a grain of salt because you can't believe everything anybody says. You always have to have at least that one notion that everybody is lying to you, but also that everybody is telling the truth. So you have to balance it out. Are they telling the truth or are they not?
So we thought it would help for everyone to hear student voices about what our promise means to them. And we are pinky promising that every student will succeed. We've been super busy in the instructional services office. Our teachers up to this date have completed 2,500 hours of professional development up to this point, and we'll be adding to that this week. Before the year is completed, and I want our community to know, our teachers complete over 10,000 hours of professional development to grow and improve in their craft. Just this week, we are hosting staff developer Kirsten Myers-Blake at Peaks Mill Elementary for 2 days. New teacher training kicks off this Friday at Franklin County High School, and we're very appreciative to FCEA for providing their lunch. We have about 35 we hope to be in attendance. All record low numbers of certified teachers being hired this year, so we're keeping our staff. Next Monday, we'll train 28 literacy aides in this room, and they'll be picking up their supplies that have been ordered through ESSER funds. We've talked about some of those funds that have purchased things our folks need, so they'll be in this building where our materials are coming in. And as you know, Rebecca, do we share the bashes dates with board members? We can do that. The bashes are in full swing. I think the first one was last Friday night for 6th grade at Elkhorn Middle School, and they are running now through the start of school. Lots of community building taking place, movie nights, scavenger hunts. It's not just about bringing those school supplies to school anymore because you've allowed our schools to purchase those for them. So it's really about coming to meet your teacher and just getting involved with your school community. This weekend, and Mr. Kopp, I'm sure will rev up some excitement about that, the Lexington Legends game. I think we're going to have about 900 tickets. So 900 folks attending Franklin County's picnic over at the Whitaker Ballpark. And you should begin to see the increased presence on social media. I know Kristen's been super busy. The 10-day countdown from Peaks Mill Elementary will be released, I believe, today. And our new principal over at Western Hills released a new newsletter where she included pictures of kids, interest stories, not just a listing of events. So that's exciting. If you haven't had the chance to check that out, you want to do that. We are wrapping up summer school this week at Franklin County High School. They have a choir, a choral music program where they're building community there. But the top 3 attendance schools for summer was Collins Lane, Bridgeport, Western Hills. They all hit 94% attendance rate for July, so that was pretty good for the summer. Our Director of Federal Programs is busy working on our grant management applications for all of our federal funds that will be coming in for next year. $1,905,662 in Title I, Title II, III, and IV. So he's working on that, and we consult with those private schools this Friday. So next month, you're likely to see some of the things they need to purchase with the money that they receive from our allotment. Virtual Learning Academy, I expect the mask announcement will likely increase our numbers for Virtual Learning Academy. We're at 66 students enrolled, and we have 16 seeking applications after some of the mass communications have been going out. So we may have a total of 82 kids. Right now, if we have to hire another teacher, it will likely be at the high school level. We have 23 elementary students enrolled, 15 middle school, and we currently stand at 28 high school students. So looks like if we get 16 more kids accepted, we'll need to post another virtual learning teacher at the high school level.
Question real quick.
Yes.
If we, these students, now they are still, I mean, if they just say, hey, I don't want to be in the school because of the mask, will that notify they can have that, or if they're, because I know some of these students were struggling, and I know that was part of our criteria in the beginning, but will that
No,
change?
there is an application process. Now, of course, if there were health issues, that supersedes anything that would come into play there. But they still have to go through an application process and an interview with the student and the family. And so they had to show participation as well. So, Dr. Masters has done a great job working with the teachers to accept those students and working with the principals to make sure we hire kids who'd be successful in that
Right.
setting. So we want to make sure of that. A report from Human Resources, we still have 10 certified vacancies out there. 5 of them are special education positions. So, you know, if we have any potential teachers watching on YouTube, get those applications in. Our principals are looking for math teachers and special education teachers as well.
And that probably needs to be put out on social media.
Oh, yeah.
You know, get that out.
We can do that. We also have 27 classified postings still not hired. So we've got time, it'll happen, but, folks need to apply. And last but not least, you asked about Georgetown College last month, I believe, and how many students took advantage of the Legacy and Learning Scholarship. We had 21 students who attended Georgetown College last year, tuition free, and this year in the fall, we'll have 20 students attending Georgetown College. So that's an awesome opportunity. Anyone from Franklin County Schools can go to Georgetown tuition free.
So you're clear on that. I just had an individual, it's $14,000 they have to pay out because they have to stay on campus.
Room and board.
For room and board, it's $14,000 a year just for that. And so that works out.
And we can assist those students with applications, student loans, whatever, grants. We'll try to help them do that, but that's an amazing opportunity. And $14,000 is the cheapest price in the game right now, probably, for college education
Not
each year.
Kentucky State.
True. So, any questions? It's a busy, busy time.
Yeah. Y'all ready for the kids to come back? You're
We're
ready?
excited.
Okay.
We're excited.
Yeah, definitely send us out those bash dates, because
Yeah.
that's exciting.
All right,
Superintendent report is next.
Yeah, I want to mention a few things. Excuse me. First of all, thank you to the board for the Section 7 money for our teachers and staff. I think that's going to be very helpful. Thank you for thinking of them. Going along with the students' school supplies, that's almost $1 million that you as a board have given back, so to speak, to this community and to our staff, and we are incredibly grateful. General announcement to the public: please complete the Lakeview Park survey if you have not had an opportunity to do that. We will be sending that out on social media and also on our new Infinite Canvas messenger system. So, you know, we want this community to have everything that it needs to succeed in order for us to be able to meet that promise. And so please provide your input for the Lakeview Park project. A couple other things. First of all, again, I mentioned earlier about masks, and understand that we will mandate masks on buses. We will recommend but not require masks in our schools. We do know that the COVID situation does change, and we've seen that, and we will continue to work with Judy Mattingly at the health department to help inform our decision-making process, and if need be, we can adjust that. But for now, we feel that this is the best option for our district at this time, and we will continue to urge the wearing of masks, and more importantly, please get that vaccine. It is so incredibly important. And I love the idea that Ms. Waldron shared about the Mask to Win, and as a public entity, as a governmental agency, basically, we are not allowed to direct any of our funds. And Shane Smith, if he's out there, is probably going to be smiling when I say this. We're not allowed to direct any of our funds to purchase prizes to give away. So what we would really love to ask, if we're able to do something like this, let's get some support from our community who would be willing to donate some of these things. That would be a great opportunity to reward those who are willing to get the vaccine to help all of our community. Back to school at the ballpark, Charlotte mentioned we're awfully excited about that. It's going to include a buffet meal with ballpark food, cookout type food, as well as a ticket to the game. So I encourage all of our staff, if you have not signed up already, we will still make room for you, because this is all about appreciating you and getting excited for back to school. Our Franklin County High School Choir will be singing the national anthem. Very excited about that. And the legendary Mr. Terry Johnson, starting his 50th year in the classroom at Franklin County High School, he will be throwing out the first pitch. And we can't wait for Sunday at 5 o'clock.
And where did those funds come from?
So we've received donations from the vendors that work with us. And so we've been able to use those funds. And also we may be able to offset a little bit of the extra cost with some federal funds. So no taxpayer dollars are going to be spent on this for our employees. And lastly, I just want to go back to what Charlotte was talking about earlier. I want to thank all of our employees, all of our administrators who came to the retreat. What a fantastic time that we had. Not only getting inspired, having professional development with Scott Murphy with PEBC, getting fired up for our comeback year, but also having a chance to get to know each other even better on a personal level. And it was a great opportunity for us. And we believe in this promise. This is our mantra, as Charlotte said, it's a pinky promise. I said at the retreat, do you know what a blood oath is? Well, you just took one, because we will ensure that every single student succeeds. And we're very excited for the start of the year. We couldn't be in a better place, frankly. And we will make sure that every student succeeds.
And that was one of Mr. Green's mottos.
Yep. Yep. And that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you.
The next item is the consent agenda.
The consent agenda is presented for your approval. The recommended motion is to approve the consent agenda as presented.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions? like a bunch of contracts. New
Yeah,
year,
a lot of,
new,
yes,
new school year, new contracts.
yeah, we have a lot of signing to do.
Okay. Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion with adjourn.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
All in favor of adjourning indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we're adjourned.